Hope I got good light. I know it's late. I mean, it's early morning. Yep, lip gloss popping. Give me 1 second, guys. Hopefully the notifications go out. Blessings. If you don't know who I am, my name is Miss Grace. And we're a little early this morning. I think we're going to do a dual broadcast because I got to play catch up, y'all. So I'm here. It's 6 a.m. in ATL. And we're going to be talking about the Charlie Kirk effect. Give me 1 second. This is our early morning broadcast, the chit chat that we do for, how can I say, intellectual people who know how to critical think and want to look at everything. Give me 1 second, okay, y'all? I know it's early. I'm like, what's that? Y'all know I'm old. So hopefully we get some people in the audience to come through and we get a good conversation. It is early. I know somebody is up this time. I knew somebody is up this time. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It has been. Good morning. That's why I closed your door. It has been an active week, okay? So I wanted to go live yesterday, but as the Spirit told me, Holy Spirit said, relax, let things cook, you know what I'm saying, and get into alignment. So shout out to all my Levites, all of the new subscribers. You know the vibe here. We deal with humanistic views, and we want to make sure that our soul right. Okay, so that's why we evaluating all of this stuff. I may say things that make you uncomfortable, but it's okay. All right, so as we know, there has been a few active shooters happening after. We're going to talk about a timeline after Charlie Kirk passed, okay? We're going to show you some things as far as me considering the dog whistle being called out by Charlie Kirk's wife and some other things that's going on. So we do know about the Michigan shooting. We're going to talk about that today. But I don't want you guys to think that that's the only shooting that took place over the last couple of days. So we're going to talk about a Pennsylvania shooting and a North Carolina shooting. Now, you know when I have this shirt on, okay, guys? This shirt represents my uncle who was a federal agent who passed away from suicide. And that is, I believe, because of, stress and work-related things. So when you see me have this on, we're going to be talking about the cops, okay? So here today, we're going to be talking about some of the incidents involving the cops actually being gunned down. So we're trying to figure out what's going on here. And I'm just going to say this. Our Caucasian men are going postal. Our Caucasian men are going postal, and that's real. Let's get to this. Now, let's just watch the dog whistle that I call a dog whistle from Miss Kirk. Okay? Now, I do want y'all to know that gun violence has been an issue in America way before this. So I'm not saying that it was not an issue, but I think right now, something is going on. Let's go. Hold on.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination.
Ooh, hold on, y'all.
The evildoers
Good morning, y'all.
responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission
Look at her
was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world.
Okay, so you guys get in the comments. I know maybe I'm overthinking, but what did we unleash in this world, the United States? Now, we're just going to talk about one point that Charlie Kirk has made, and I do think that, sometimes you say things and God make you live by them. So we're gonna watch this, okay? And then we're gonna get into the increased gun violence because this is so crazy of what's going on. Blessings to everyone in the audience. On the move, thank you so much, Grand Rising. I always look like this on a Monday and Sunday because I practice the Sabbath. I'm just playing, y'all. No, I really do. I rejuvenate. I feel like I rejuvenate over the weekend. You guys should do that. Step away from all of this stuff, then come back fresh. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's watch this. That's why I'm up so early.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately...
Now, y'all heard that statement. Now, this is something that's been buzzing around, and that's Charlie Kirk in his own words, that he feels that it is, you know, okay to have gun deaths just to prove that having guns is good, okay? And I don't think that is a good way of demonstrating that, but I'll let him finish talk. Now, my thing is that it's a little crazy because, you know, getting to know a little bit about Charlie Kirk, I never really noticed that he was anti-police. You see what I'm saying? I never heard him speak rhetoric of anti-police. So it's just so weird that we're having all of these police-involved shootings. And I don't know which side is coming from, right, left, whatever's going on. But I do think it's some political psychosis. I call it political psychosis and religious psychosis going on with people who follow Charlie Kirk. So this is what I was saying. Before we get into the three states that had gun shootings of officers since a little bit after September 11th, I do want to say this, okay, because y'all know I always think, you know how, as I kind of said, they always take a chance to censor us for whatever goes on. It goes back to our censorship. You shouldn't say this or whatever. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But then another issue that I have noticed is another thing, a way they're kind of working to take our rights away is through this gun fight. What does that mean? You have one side that's, I guess, the far right that wants guns free, loose, and then you have the left that, you know, wants gun regulations and maybe don't want everybody to have guns. But at the end of the day, it's in our constitutional rights to bear arms and to protect ourselves. So this fight on both sides is something that's going to affect the Constitution. And what I'm thinking is that every time they turn around, they're having arguments that directly affects the Constitution. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird because I'm like, okay, they're going after officers, which is weird because I think that Caucasian people, you know, y'all respect officers. Not saying that we don't, but that was why, you know, you were mad at the Black Lives Matter and, you know, when they wanted to defund the police and it was this big thing, police against Black Lives Matter, the different flags. So it's just weird to me that it's an uptake of gun violence against police. And I will say that a majority of it's being done by Caucasian men, you know, Anglo-Saxon men. For real, they're just tripping, or young Caucasian boys. Okay, so I just be thinking like, where's all of this headed to? You know, I don't only just look at where we're at in the situation and look at the fight and the argument and whose side, but it's like, okay, either way, all roads leads to our constitutional fight. Okay, so that's why we have to know the Constitution and how to actually use it in these particular cases. So we're gonna go deep down that rabbit hole a little bit later, but I just wanted to get y'all brains moving this morning, get y'all thinking like, okay, regardless of what side you believe in, it's still going against, you know, our founding fathers' constitutional ideas. Does that make sense? And it also highlights, like, you know, the part in the Constitution when it talks about us having the right to build a militia, to you know, get our government under control. It's in our Constitution. We have a right, but it seems like they're kind of like trying to circumvent that. before people really realize what our rights is? Am I a little bit thinking too much? Now you guys know that I'm not a left or a right. I'm a separatist. And I separate from the BS. And I teach you guys how to separate from the BS by looking at everything. So just remember, we could talk about right, left, whatever you want to do in the audience, but just remember where I stand, okay, guys? So I know I got y'all thinking all roads leads to kind of taking our rights away some way, somehow. But this is what I want to talk about today, the increased shootings of officers. So I'm trying to figure out the why behind it. Maybe you guys can tell me, because that's your nation. I mean, I can tell you why we have an increased gun violence in the black neighborhoods and why we have gangs and things. We could talk about it. But I really need you guys, because we have a mixed cloak here. Thank you. God be the glory. Okay? Just different people with different minds. Why do you think this is happening? Why are more Caucasian men going after the police? And these different stories are going to kind of talk about it, because this is a psychological aspect. That's why I think it's like a religious psychosis and, like a political psychosis going on. Like, they just pissed. Y'all believed in it too much. Not to say y'all not supposed to believe in religion, but y'all supposed to believe in the Most High, not the religion, not the institutions. Does that make sense? That's where the psychosis come in at. But anyway, let's get to this one. This first article we're going to talk about, this one took place in Pennsylvania. Did y'all know this happened? Rest in peace and love and blessings to the officers here who is in the middle of this, because no matter what, there are good officers, just like there are good nurses, bad nurses, because y'all know that's what I am. We could call it out. There's some good officers out there that's really trying. So suspect in killing a Pennsylvania officer was 24 years old, being sought out on stalking charges. Now, this is the thing, too. Something's going on with our youth, too. And we got to talk about it, because our youth between the ages below 24, they have been, how can I say, experimented on. Do y'all know what that means? How? You know how? With the AI. So we're going to talk about that, because I think something's going on with our younger generation, and it's related to this AI and related to the computers, and they just be snapping out. So, okay. A suspect stalker armed with a rifle hit at his ex-girlfriend home in the rolling farmland of South Pennsylvania and ambushed police officers who came to arrest him, killing 3 of them, and as a prosecutor said Thursday. Okay, so this happened September 18th. So we kind of backdating, because some things been happening. Now, this is kind of talking about psychosis too, as far as this may not be political, but something is like totally off with people. Police arrived at the scene at 2:10 p.m. Wednesday, noticed the door to the home was unlocked, even though the ex-girlfriend and her mother had locked it before leaving the property for their safety. They opened the door and they were immediate firing upon the suspect, 24-year-old Matthew James Ruth, who was carrying an AR-style rifle. Now, remember this. Listen, AR-style rifle, you got to... the repetitive things that you hear in articles, that's what I want y'all guys to pay attention to. And they've been trying to go after this AR-15 type thing. And honestly, at the end of the day, guns don't kill people. People who hold the guns kill people. And they craziness in their head. But we'll move forward. So again, an AR-style rifle was involved in this. Red light. He said the suspect fired multiple rounds at the 4 officers at the door, unaliving 3 of them. A gunfight then ensued between Ruth and 2 officers outside. Ruth wounded the sheriff deputy before police shot the gunman and unalived him, Baker said. Okay? Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, Detective Mark Becker, and Detective Isaiah Immersher, I'm saying that last name right, wrong, were the officer who were killed. So it was 3 of them that was unalived. They all work for the Northern York County Regional Police Department. Each of these men represent the best of the police. So I wanted to bring this up to you guys, okay, because something is going on as far as people just wigging out. Honestly, I'm gonna go to the left, and I always talk about other things, and we kind of bring it back. We bring it back. I'm not just jumping all over the place, but I've noticed a tremendous change in people. And people after the ovid, they lost their ever loving mind. They lost their ever loving cheese and bread mind. And I'm saying it's like an increase of deviousness, an increase of wickedness, where it's like a detached from humanity. Like right after that, there were numerous broadcasts of kids wigging out on their parents, things like that. Husbands doing it to wives, and then it was increased even in the neighborhood. I say black in our neighborhood too, because we don't do. Okay, let me just say this, and we're gonna get back to this because I'm talking about psychologically. Did y'all notice anything changed since after the Ovid? And I even noticed in our community. I know other nations, y'all have been taught to think that we are just vicious, that we just kill and we just kill. We actually don't do that. We usually get into some nonsense, and then our heightened emotion leads to things that is not supposed to in the black community over frivolous things, like girls, money, guns, BS. And it does connect to gang violence. We will say that. But I will tell you this, we never had murders that was just plain out just murders, like where a black man would lose his mind and just cut his girlfriend neck off, head off, and things like that. That's not typical in the black communities. Those dark, I can't say all murders are bad, but those way of approaching it is not normal for us. You may not know that, but do the numbers. We don't do like the Chucky type shit. We do like you stepped on my sneakers and just a little bit of ignorant killing. I'm just being honest. And after the COVID, I noticed that the men was wigging out on females in the black community, like just offing their baby mothers, doing all types of stuff. I'm like, what is going on? Like, they just murdering people. But what I'm saying is that it's something psychologically going on with people that I want y'all to pay attention to. So it's not only just Caucasian men, but it has been across the spectrum. But right now, we talking about what's going on with these, like, kind of looking like mass shootings going on and Caucasian men. But I do want to open the conversation up to say that it's not just them, and that I'm not just now noticing it. But because Missy said that it's going to be a raft that's going to be unleashed to the United States, it was like, oh, what we got going on here? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just want you to know that I'm not biased, and we're kind of, I think about everything, but today we're talking about this. So let's get to this, okay? Who said what? Shadow, you say, who said that? Let me know what that is. I'm going to look at y'all comments after this next article. So this one is in North Carolina. Shout out to our police officers. Rest in peace to my uncle. Me and him used to go at it about these type of things. Like, what was they supposed to do? What was the procedures? He's like, this is not nursing. I'm like, well, why is not nursing? This is how I used to argue with my uncle. I said, because I'm here to save people and y'all not. And he had shut his ass up. I'm like, y'all confused. But I love my uncle, and I just got to represent, truth. In fact, this is the conversation I used to have with him, straight federal agent. We used to be going back and forth, okay? Suspect held after allegedly firing from a boat into waterfront bar in North Carolina. Now, I think this involved an officer, but let me just double check. Okay, so this was September 28th. Now, this was updated September 28th, but I think this happened earlier last week. 3 people were unalive and 5 wounded in Southport, North Carolina on Saturday night when police say a gunman attacked the bar from the waterfront, driving his boat up alongside on a open air dock front bar and open fire. Okay. So Edges was arrested Saturday on charges including first-degree murder and what the police are calling premeditated attack. Psychosis. Is this involving a woman? What is the problem here? The suspect fled the scene, motoring his boat towards the intercoastal waterway. Half an hour after the shooting, 10 p.m., the Coast Guard observed a single individual matching the description of the shooter loading their boat at the public boat ramp. He was about to try to get out of this country. Hold on, y'all. Okay? Now, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. It says the attack took place in American Fish Company, a bar and live music venue. Police are asking any witness of the shooting to contact. Okay, so our prayers are for the family. Officials says that they believe the alleged gunman acted alone and there is no one safe, no ongoing safety threat. Now listen to that, because they say this all the time. Now, and that's the same thing. It's just one lone gunman, one lone gunman. Now, remember that phrase, one lone gunman, because that kind of goes with the militia thing. That goes with the right to carry, things like that. Keep it in mind, because these news broadcasts kind of repeat certain things in our head, so we could kind of take it as, an issue or something they want us to pay attention to. So here we go, one long gunman. Now the reason why I'm bringing this up again is because I want to highlight psychosis that's going on, religious and governmental psychosis, and I guess relationship psychosis. But me looking at this, y'all remember what I told y'all the last live. Please go to archive.org. If you're a content creator or someone who just like to research, please go to archive.org and you will be able to find archived videos, documents of CIA released documents, FBI documents, and I keep thinking MK Ultra. I ain't crazy. Now y'all can't say I got a 10 hat. Years ago, back in the day, my family used to get on me. And I'm like, it's real. They're talking about these people used to work for them. And they're like, nah, you're crazy. Now we got documents out there. And that's what I'm saying. When I throw the little hint in about AI, about psychosis, because they are starting to talk about AI causing psychosis to our kids. What do you think it's doing to us? Because we're indulging in it as much as they are. And how do you think that they implement some of these programs to put ideas into our heads? Through what we're doing now, through the media, through showing you certain things. So all I'm saying is just something is going on and we have to be aware, okay? So we got the North Carolina shooting. Please excuse that no officer was involved in that. Thank you. Hold on, is this another one? Hold on, let me just make sure that this is not the one. This is the Brunswick. Okay, yes, this is another one in North Carolina. Okay, this is another one. Now, this is the officer-involved shooting in North Carolina. We're going to get to what's going on in Michigan, but I just want y'all to see that it's not just Michigan. They're picking Michigan out for a particular reason. We're going to kind of figure out why, but there's more going on across the United States. Like she said, something's going to be unleashed, and that's why we have to be aware. Okay, now look at this right here. Men unalived, deputy wounded in Leland shooting. This is in North Carolina. And again, the Virginia man was unalived and the deputy wounded after exchange of gunfire in Leland earlier Monday morning. And this was updated on September 22nd, 2025. The Brunswick County said deputies responded to the call of Minuteman convenience store. Okay, so officer tried to speak to the man who opened fire, hitting one deputy twice, the sheriff office said. The deputy ballistic vest likely saved his life by stopping one of the rounds, the sheriff office said. Deputy returned fire, unaliving the man, the sheriff office said. The man was identified as Brandon Wayne Taylor, 34. Okay, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation said. Now, I could do a little quick Googling, and I did, and these are white men, okay? I'm just to let y'all know, y'all can go Google it, but when they don't show the picture, and they don't say black, usually they white. They usually like a Hispanic gunman, a black gunman. You know they do that. Oh, blip, 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 blip. Am I lying? Am I flying? So usually we gotta kind of like, okay, and they white because they ain't saying no name. So I kind of looked around, and that name kind of falls with a lot of white guys' pictures. So I'm thinking, why? But regardless of the situation, an officer was shot at. Okay, again, just off the hook. The deputy was treated and released from the hospital. The State Bureau of Investigation is investigating the shooting, which is standard procedure. So procedures. Okay, so again, Something is being unleashed. Something is being unleashed, and our officers are being accosted. That's what's making it so weird because I know the far right and the far left. Y'all love the police. Y'all gonna always show the police over us. So it's just weird. It's like they're trying to cause some way to take our guns away, civil war, and take our freedom of speech. These are the three main things that I keep seeing repetitively happening. I mean, like the storyline revolves around. Does that make sense? So this was the gas station shooting. This was the deputy. If y'all want to watch the little video of the one that I was just telling y'all guys about. Hold on. Let's see if it works good, y'all.
The Renaissance Festival is
Now,
back. Saturdays and Sundays, October.
let me give y'all a heads up. I do stream off of my streaming equipment, but guys, I'm trying to get my stuff together as far as the algorithm. Something's going on. When I stream from my streaming equipment, it does not send notifications. So that's why we do it like this, guys, okay?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I'm John Evans.
I'm Francis Lowe.
Turn up the
We have
volume.
Details at this hour on a story we first reported as breaking news. A Brunswick County Sheriff's deputy is recovering after being shot this morning at a gas station in Leland.
We're now hearing from the sheriff about what happened when the man opened fire on his deputies. WECT's Ariana Bertolotti live now, where that shooting happened on Mercantile Drive in Leland. So what did you find out, Ariana?
Look at that. Look at it. Ooh, I got it.
Sheriff Brian Chisholm says one of his deputies was hit twice by gunfire. And that deputy's ballistic vest is what stopped one of the rounds, likely saving his life. This all began around 5 o'clock this morning at the Marathon gas station on Mercantile Drive Northeast. A spokesperson for the State Bureau of Investigation says the employees at the gas station asked a man who was loitering to leave the property. When he refused, sheriff's deputies arrived and tried to speak with the man, identified now as Brandon Taylor of Virginia. That's when investigators say Taylor pulled out a gun and started firing. He hit one deputy twice before deputies returned fire and killed him. Sheriff Chisholm says this is a good reminder of the sacrifice deputies make every day.
All right, let's stop right here. Obviously, you know they didn't show us no pictures. Usually they do. Let me get to your comment. Mr. Daniel said, who cares what happened to the biggest gang? Honestly, I'm going to be honest. You know, we can have that approach, but regardless of the situation, we have officers there for a reason. We have specialty services for a reason. These people are trained to do particular jobs. Police are supposed to protect, serve, and protect. You know, I know the foundations of police, so I'm with you. They was catch a nigga, and that's the truth. But regardless of it, in today's day and age, they're supposed to be set to serve and protect us, and we pay them our money. So we should care, because not only do we pay them our money, but they have access to oodles amount of guns and this law that seems to, you know, protect them. So we have to be aware of what's going on with our police. I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I understand what you're saying, but every role plays a part. Just like the time, I'm going to bring it up with the COVID. I was mad as hell at healthcare. I was mad as hell at nurses and the docileness and like, oh, y'all just gotta go. Rah, 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 rah. But then it's like, yo, we need each other. We need the healthcare industry. We need this system. It's like dismantle the whole shit because these people are terrible. No, we're supposed to fix it. So I do understand what you're saying, but that's kind of like where I'm at, because I don't feel like the world is going to come to an end. I'm just going to be honest. I feel like everything that we're going through is things that we have to endure, just like our Lord and Savior Yeshua have said. Well, the ones who endure will receive the kingdom. But the only way we're going to be able to endure, because you know I got to get there, is know what's going on, look at it critically, and then as the system is being destroyed, whatever way that they're doing it, Trump is doing it like lightning speed, we're able to kind of pick up the pieces because we critically looked at this. We wasn't part of the destruction. Does that make sense? So that's where we at. That's where I'm at with it. This is what the Levi's do here. God bless Donald Trump, best presidents of our lifetime. Hawaii for Trump. Well, Hawaii, good luck, because he did y'all dirty, especially when didn't y'all have some type of major disaster and just left y'all unstuck? Then he just left y'all unstuck? Huh? Baby, tell me what's going on in Hawaii and why y'all love him so much, because he left y'all unstuck. That's what I saw too. Good luck with that one. Oh man, your screen does the same thing as my laptop, where it gets all the weird lines in it. Were you trying to record it from your phone? Yes, I'm on my phone, and the reason why I'm doing this, Ryan, because again, I have streaming equipment. We could go right in that room. I have everything set up. But over the last year, before I get into this next, because we're going to get into mission, this last year I've been pursuing democratic issues in Illinois. And literally the whole South Side, the politicians, they send people to kind of destroy my page, honestly. They would call strike teams, things like that. So when I stream through my streaming equipment, notifications seem not to go out. So I'm looking for new notifications. I did some things with some stuff. Otherwise, these people were so deep down that they had some, they need, I'm not going to compare this guy to Charlie Kirk, because he's not, because he was just like a low budget activist. But they used him to control the narratives. And he used to say things like, I got IP address, things like that. So the reason why I'm streaming like this is because God is allowing me to start over and separate myself from all of that and handle my business the way he need me to be. And that's with everybody, international. So I'm recovering. So that's why it looks like this, but I need y'all to hit the like button, turn the notifications on. When I get my, well, I do have new streaming equipment. I'm looking for the right one. Y'all get notifications. But from here on, for right now, we right here on the phone. I see, look, we gonna do it old school. At least y'all know I ain't no AI. At least y'all know I ain't no damn fake influencer. Y'all know what they do. They be looking all perfect and pretty and shit. You know they ain't real. You know Grace real, at least. You like, yeah, she be talking shit. Real stuff. People will soon be begging to give up their constitutional rights. That's what they want us to do. Exactly, Walter. That's what they want us to do. They want us to be so afraid. Like, just do it. Just fix it. Like, you have to protect our police. You have, and want us to be so afraid. But we got to look at the narrative that's unfolding. And one of the things that we're not going to live in is fear, because when you live in fear, you can't even think. So thank you for bringing that up, Walter. Read the book, Terrence Formation of America. Terrence Formation of America. Check that out, y'all. I'm going to see, can I listen to an audio book? Okay, guys, I'm going to see, can I check that out? If you knew about the extent of the AI surveillance, it might give you mental health problems to research flock cameras. Oh, yeah, I already know. When that guy used to say he had people at IP and things like that, I got so paranoid at the beginning. I used to put tape on all of my stuff. Like all of it. And I know they could just tap in smart TVs, things like that. There was a guy, and I put in the description, he did a TikTok video and he was recording the smart TV and he saw a little Chinese guy in it. No cap. No cap. And he was like, the guy was just watching him watch them. It's not a joke. I'm going to put that under there. That wasn't satire. So I totally know the surveillance is out of control. Definitely. Definitely. And it's so, how can I say, intertwined with our society that it's intertwined into our thoughts and into our brain. They have programmed it, like I said, to hear our words, hear things, send us ads, and things like that. That's the basics. But imagine. So let's not go to the left with the AI, but we could talk about it. Oh, y'all are a great audience. I get to talk about everything. You see how God started me over? Oh my God, I get to talk about AI. Too many shootings lately. Exactly. So we're going to keep, it's hard to say we're going to keep count. It's so sad. But we're going to keep abreast of the tone and what they're saying, and kind of like how many is going on with different ways, because we got school shootings, we got cops being shot, we have just churches being shot, which we're going to go look at right now. And that church was a Mormon church. This is something we definitely got to get into, because did y'all see? I know I get a lot of spins because I streamed it. The Mormon content creator, the young lady who gave herself to Jesus Christ and figured out that she was being brainwashed by the Mormon church. She said she left Trump. She left white supremacy. If y'all don't know who that is, I'll put the video at the bottom. She has a great YouTube page. It's bumping. She's repenting for her sins. But the Mormon church teach a lot of falsities. Like, she said she had to go through deprogram, desensitize, this, that, just counseling upon counseling, because what she was taught in adolescence was, how can I say, embedded into her brain. Just the foundations, they told her as a little kid that all brown people, if you ain't white, pale skin.
Imagine being able to
blue eyes, blonde hair, that you have the devil in you. And this, imagine telling a kid that. A kid, and when she's walking down the street, she see black people and she thinking that they devil and evil. Imagine the psychosis. So that's what happens in a Mormon church. We're gonna put her video down there so y'all can listen to her story, and then y'all probably gonna look at this a little bit different. I don't know if this guy was part of the Mormon church or whatever, but it's deep psychosis that goes on with them. So when they find out that what they've been living since a child was not true, and they actually go into the Bible, some of them lose their damn cheese and bread. Cheese and bread. Okay? Hit the like button. Thank you guys for being here. We only stay on for an hour at a time. We're going to get to what's going on in Michigan, okay? All right, let's flip this. Let's flip this. What is going on?
Hi, everybody. That breaking news continues from the Grand Blanc Township and now Burton areas just north of the Metro Detroit area. I'm going to step out of the way. I'm sure you've heard by now there was a mass shooting at the Church of the Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township. 10 people were shot. One is dead. The shooter also shot and killed by police. What you're looking at right now is a map of where that church is, again, in the Grand Blanc Township area. There were people inside of the church when all of this happened. The suspect rammed his vehicle through the front doors of the church, got out, and then started shooting. You're now looking at video from the scene here. Again, 10 people were shot. One was shot and killed. 2 or 3 others are in critical condition. On top of the shooting, though, this suspect, a 40-year-old from Burton, also started a fire inside of the church.
So wait, this is something like, how? Okay, I know I'm moving fast, but it's a fire and a gunman, and you're gonna listen to the story. Something don't match, and they talking about it was a lone gunman. Something is not. I believe it was more than one. Y'all guys, let me know. Let's listen to the full story before I interject myself.
We got an update from the Grand Blanc Township Police Chief. He said they are expecting to find more victims of the shooting and or of the fire once the investigators can get into areas of the church that they originally couldn't get into because that fire was ongoing. We did talk to the chief about what the next steps are, and that is getting a search warrant and getting into the victim's home. The suspect's home.
So we have investigators. We're gonna do.
That was a large church, y'all. Before, I just want y'all to note some things, okay? Because you know we got secret squirrel eyes over here. We be paying attention. So he ran. We got to figure out where he ran the car into, and he set something on fire. He couldn't have did it simultaneously. Look how big this building is. So let's just keep these things in mind, okay? Jeez.
So we have investigators. We're gonna do search warrants on the suspect's residence. We're gonna find out if there was a motive. We're gonna go through cell phone records, things like that. We had the FBI, they're devoting 100 agents to this area because, as you can imagine, there's a lot of witnesses that were within the church, and that is a lot of witness information, statements that we have to obtain.
Wow, that's a big church.
All right, now back out here live. We are not actually at the church. We are near the suspect's home. Now, we have confirmed through sources that there were IEDs found.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's new, G, but this happened just the last 24 hours.
Inside of the suspect's vehicle. And now here outside of the home, as they get that search warrant and a way to go inside, the Michigan State Police bomb squad has shown up. In fact, photographer Marty is behind the lens here. If we can zoom into the back of that truck, you can see a robot.
Now, guys, they got a bomb squad. See, this is where I talk about religious psychosis now. What made this man so mad that not only that he ran a car into the church, came out, shot it up, and a fire was starting in the back. That fire been going. That fire is huge. That is a big fire. It takes a little bit of preparation for this. Religious psychosis. He must have been mad. I heard you said you wanted to hear my beliefs about Mormons. I have no inclination about anybody religion, honestly. I'm just going to be honest. I learned about a lot of religions growing up, but because I know the Most High Yah, the creator of all. I don't pay attention to what religions do because I look at them as just practicing rituals. So I don't really pay no mind to them, but I just happened to hear her talking about how she condemned Trump, condemned white supremacy and Mormonism, and then that's the first Mormon person I ever heard, you know, coming from the black neighborhood. We have Muslim, Seventh-day Adventists, and Jehovah Witness, and I have all three of them that I really have in-depth knowledge about because I have friends. So Mormonism is something very new to me, but it was shocking of what she said. She was told as a child, not only just about black people being straight descendants of Ham, and we're being of the devil, but they were straight descendant from Adam and Eve, and they had the purest blood, and they're a few generations away from the creation of man. And that if you want to hear some of what they said, you know, this was just mind-blowing. So when somebody finds out that this ain't the damn truth, it could send them into psychosis. She said that what else she said? She said that the black people were evil. Yeah, they were straight descended from Adam and Eve. That every other nation can be made new and white. If they give themselves over to Mormonism, but they will still basically subjugated because their skin is brown. Just a whole lot of stuff. Now, that's not my opinion. That is kind of what I interpret from the young lady who left Mormonism. But imagine being taught all of that as a child, and you finally get an adult and read the Bible yourself. I don't know why people take so long. I'm like, damn, why she just didn't read the Bible? That don't even make sense. You got to read the Bible. Just read it. But after a while, you know, I guess they decided to read the Bible and look at everything for what it was. She said when she met other cultures, it blew her mind. She knew that they wasn't of the devil, what she thought. She's like, these people are regular people. So I'm just kind of like throwing some stuff out there. We could think of the mental state of this person, not giving him any excuses for what he did. But imagine if he was brought up in a household like that. He probably pissed. He like, you lied. You said that we came straight from Adam and Eve, and look at all this other stuff that happened in the middle. Once they figure out all the stories and all the migrations and everything that happened in the world, I'll be mad as hell too. Because that's what happened with us as black people. I'm going to keep it real. When we figured out black was not a nation, that we were the slaves of the book, that made a lot of people mad. That's why you have the Hebrews that's out in the street being like, rah, you know, and I'm a Hebrew. I'm going to tell y'all, but I'm just separate. I practice myself. I love my Hebrew brothers, but I just think they don't deal with the heart a lot, and they just mad. They're mad just like these Caucasian people are mad because they've been lied to. Do you see what I'm saying? They're just pissed, and they're taking it out on who they feel is opposition, and I think that's what's going on here as well. No, I went to the left. You know, I expand the conversation, but yeah. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. Religious extremists on all levels will lead to some stuff like this, okay? Let's finish watch this, what's going on. They got the bomb squad at his house. Like, this was planned. This was planned.
Is now being offloaded. That'll be one of the tools
Anna,
that they'll use to go in.
Anna, why you gotta be like that? You first know the definition of racist. I can't be racist because I don't control any system. Maybe I have pre-prejudice like everybody else do, preconceptions of people, but I really don't. But Anna, get it together, okay? I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but that's the thing too. Y'all gotta get out y'all feelings. Like this is what they want to say, fear in our feelings. Oh, cancel them. My feelings is hurt. We're supposed to be old enough and grown enough to critically think and talk and agree to not to disagree. Okay? No, the reason why I call y'all Levites and I'm a Levi, because coming from Haiti, yeah, y'all like Haiti? Yep, I'm Haitian and Barbadian. We argue. We don't agree, but we get down together. We know how to critically think and get shit together. That's why Haiti ain't finished. Remember that. Don't let them lie to you. I gotta remind y'all, because they be like, Haiti is this. We still living. And we haven't been involved in a European, how can I say, exchange of goods in how many years? Think about it. Think about it. Don't let them lie to you. So stop it. Stop being a baby, Anna. Come on. Let's finish watch this together, girl.
Inside of the suspect's
Yes.
home to see what's happening there. It is a very safe assumption that if explosives were found inside of the suspect's vehicle, then they could likely find the similar
sorry, y'all. Y'all looking at me.
inside of the suspect's home. That's why you see the bomb squad out here. That's why you see that robot getting ready to go inside of the home. And as we pan our camera a little bit towards the right, you also see a SWAT vehicle.
Wow.
And they've attached a battering ram on the front of that vehicle. They'll likely use that to push open the door or a window or some other front entry point so they can gain access to the home and then send that robot inside. There is a lot happening, not only in the Grand Blanc Township area, Burton, but all throughout this area as well. This is on Atherton Street, which is in Burton. You can see that the Michigan State Police have shut this road down completely. It will be shut down like this for hours yet to come as they kind of meticulously and very, very slowly start to go through that suspect's home. But again, he is a 40-year-old that lives here in the city of Burton who used...
And I ain't racist. Caucasian. They left that out. Come on. Tell the truth. Shame the devil.
...his vehicle to crash and drive through the front doors of the Church of the Latter-day Saints in Grand Blanc Township, which is right next door. It is the community right next here to Burton. Inside that church, during the shooting, 10 people were shot. One is dead, 2 are critically injured. The other is the police chief here said that they are in stable condition. Of note, when the 911 calls started coming in, we were told that 2 officers got there very quickly. One of them was a Grand Blanc Township deputy. The other one was a Michigan DNR officer.
Wow.
Both were armed and both what they call engaged the suspect, shooting and killing that suspect. So you've got a lot happening here. And again, the Michigan State Police getting ready to make entry into that suspect's home.
Let me ask you a question. So do y'all think it's more than one suspect? I'm gonna put some of the mean people on timeout. Do y'all think that is more than one suspect here? And how long do you think it took for him to actually plan this out? Because this is intricate. This is intricate. That building was huge.
We're going to give you an update every hour from here on out. So this is at 2:30. We'll do it again at 3:30 and at 4:30. There's supposed to be a 5 o'clock press conference. So 5 p.m. You'll likely see us back inside of the Grand Blanc Township.
This was yesterday, y'all.
For more updates from not only the police chief, but the township supervisor, and likely the FBI and the Genesee County Sheriff as well. Stay with us.
All right, so guys, this was yesterday. Let me see something. I got another one. Let's see if it's something different, and then we're going to try to wrap this up this morning because I may be coming back.
We're going to go now to a live news conference with more information.
Fire Chief Gent, Genesee County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Chris Watson, and MSP Michigan State Police Captain Greg Marenko. I'm going to provide an update from the incident that we spoke about earlier today. It occurred at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints at 10:25 a.m. I want to talk about our officer's response. That call came out at 10:25 a.m. and 32 seconds.
I like that guy in the back.
Officers on scene.
I'm sorry, the guy in the back remind me of somebody that's supposed to be on one of those like army movies and stuff like that. Now, mind you guys, my uncle was a federal agent, so I met a lot of cops at the cookouts, and they are pretty like witty, funny guys usually. I don't know why. He remind me of one of my uncle buddies. Because they take it serious. I'm going to be honest. Some of them really take it serious. And I got to give honor to these police, these sheriff, everybody who respond here. Imagine an active shooter shooting massive people in a church and then the building on fire. The building was on fire. Yeah. We got to give them respect. I'm sorry.
At 10:25 and 57 seconds. The suspect, again, we're in the preliminary stages right now, was neutralized at 10:33:44 in the parking lot of that church. That suspect is a 40-year-old male from the city of Burton, who we identified as Thomas Jacob Sanford. That's Thomas Jacob Sanford, Sanford. currently where we're at. An update, I gave you 10 victims who were
Jeez. God.
victims of gunshot. Since then, we have 2 victims who are now deceased. One additional one had died at a local hospital. And again, that suspect is deceased as well. 7 other victims at this time are in stable condition. 1 is in critical condition. Now, for the reunification, I had a question earlier about, hey, where can people call to see if their loved one is okay at the reunification center? I want to provide a number for you for that. It's 248
All right.
705.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping stuff up. We're 50 minutes into the broadcast, and I'm thinking I want to come and do my 8 o'clock morning live that I usually do. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up this morning, because it was 6 a.m. my time and probably 5 a.m. your time. Thank you for being here and just, you know, watching this, because if you wake up to this, sometimes it's hard. That's why I try to keep our conversation diverse in the morning, get our critical thinking going, and not use a lot of emotions. And if we do, we kind of center it with just getting back to the subject matter. Okay, guys? Mr. Shadow Ryan. It says, my mom had me to learn everything I could about religion, and then she told me to pick whatever I felt. Honestly, I haven't found a single one that I agree with 100%. They all have flaws, exactly, and that's why I'm not religious. I just practice the book. What God says do in you know, the Old Testament, the 10 Commandments, that's how I try to live. Ain't nobody perfect. I just be like, Lord, just guide me. But that I'm with you. You know, it's about what we live. You can choose a religion, but you know what happens behind closed doors. So thank you for being here. Black women are the first running in for themselves, dark digger. I don't know what you're saying, but I don't think that's the truth, because a lot of black women, and I'm going to say this, we were head of a lot of the industries out here, as far as being our supervisors, managers, you know, being quality assurance, running a lot of business and creating, and we actually gave our life to our European nation. And that's not being racist, that's real. Like me as a nurse, I gave my life to nursing, and it was not one black facility that I worked for. And I honored every place that I worked for and worked hard. Did they do the same for me? Hell to the no. Did they want to control where I go and how much I made? Yes. So I don't think that's the truth. But at the end of the day, I'm going to pick myself. That's why I'm here right now with y'all doing what I want to do. Separate myself from that. So you can have your opinion, but I hope you actually met black women. That's why I think it's good for me to come out here and y'all meet a black woman that's not like the stereotype. I'm very different. And I think this is a great platform for us to meet and talk and expand. I've been asking God, let me be able to have a voice so I can meet different people, so they can see who we are and I can see who they are. We can build these bridges. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I think you should always honor your nation, honor where you came from, your ancestry, and know about it, and love your culture. Me too. And that should not be a form of hate. Oh, this, that, and the third. No, that's why I'm a separatist. I'm different from you, from different walks of the world. I don't eat like that. So you can do that at your home, you know, wherever. I do my stuff at my home, and we meet where we have to meet. If we have to meet at the factory to help get this world together, let's meet at the factory and go home. See, that's the problem. We want to enforce our beliefs on other people, and that's just not going to That's not going to work. I did good. I ain't cursed the whole time. And that's not going to work. So that's kind of what we are defeating the dragon here with that. Because I think the people who resonate with me, they see the big picture. That we have to survive this. We have to have endurance. The gang mentality don't work as far as the all or nothing. We have to use critical thinking, and we have to evaluate what's going on in our society. Okay, I'm gonna get to some of y'all comments. Just accept the truth. I don't know what you were talking about. Y'all been talking to each other. I'm glad y'all are. It says read the Bible, read every version of the Bible. Yes, Ryan, I love you. Read the Mormon Bible, read the Quran. They aren't all that different. Exactly. Exactly, because if you read the Ethiopian Bible and then you basically get the rest of the missing chapters of the King James Bible, you will see all of the other religions start to manifest themselves through different chapters, different teachings, things like that. And I'm going to be honest, just keeping it real. Most religions have got to idolism and worshiping idols just like God told us not to. That's just being honest. And I think that we have to kind of get away from that, the idolism. We idol people. People idol Trump. People idol Kirk. People idol stars. That's not copaesthetics. That's what's leading us down here. And then we confuse as all hell because we're not using our critical thinking. We're looking through their eyes and their perspective. So we got to cut some of this out. But I hope I highlighted a lot of things here today. As you see, there is some religious psychosis going on, straight psychosis going on. Like with the store thing. Some of these things are unnecessary. It's the extreme response. People feeling like the world coming to an end. Oh, this is, they're confused about what they saw. Now they're upset. It's so many things playing a part. So I hope we can do some healing here today. We do some praying, and I'm going to get off. Hopefully I'll come back at 8 a.m. I think I do want to do a part 2. I'm not sure the subject we're going to talk about, but tonight, this is going to be for the people who like freedom. I got to talk about the other side of this. Now, if y'all ever watch my other videos that is more uniform, I have an intro with Tupac. I love Tupac. And a Caucasian guy that basically say, if we all get along, they going to be in trouble. So I'm a Tupac fan. For real, for real. And y'all know Assata Shakur, his aunt, passed. So we're going to talk about that because she was a revolutionary fighter. And I think she was the only one that really broke out of jail and never got caught. Now, y'all see, I'm good this way, but that was dope as hell. I grew up, that was one of the people I looked up to. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to do a tribute to her. She's actually one of the, when I was in 5th grade, just to close off, they told me to do a book report on people who I looked up to. And I did a book report on Assata Shakur and H. Rap Brown. Do you know I got in trouble for that? But I got an A. So I have to say honor to our revolutionary fighters, regardless. And we're going to take it like that. So if y'all got any suggestions for topics y'all want me to talk about, we can talk about together and get our brain going so we can kind of heal the world, make it a better place, and endure. Remember, the world is not coming to an end. What's happening is that evildoers will come to an end. And when our Lord and Savior come down, he's coming so he can reign, and we can reign with him. That's why it wasn't no rapture. I'm like, where y'all going? I'm trying to be here with the Lord when he come tear stuff up. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be here for the new beginning. With that being said, I love you guys. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. I may see y'all at 8 a.m., okay? If not, I'll see y'all tonight.